Morning, 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 or afternoon, 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 or evening, depending on when you see, when you watch this, when you hear this. Welcome to another episode of Fictional Character Motivation. It's where I gleam, it's where I watch movies, gleam insight from them, and pass them on to you to help you with your life, to help you apply it to your life. My name is Quan, and today we'll be talking about the secret life of Walter Mitty, and going on the adventure will help you. Hope everyone's doing awesome, and here we go. The Secret Life of Walter Mitty came out in 2013. Walter Mitty, an employee at Life magazine, spends day after monotonous day developing photos for the publication to escape. Ooh, yeah, to escape during Walter inhabits a world of evicting daydreams in which he is the undeniable hero. So basically, what I just said is he works at this place at Life Magazine to where he does photos, where he makes photos, makes sure they're perfect, and then puts them in the magazine. But he's been there so long, and he finds it so slightly boring that every once in a while he's acquired a habit of having exciting daydreams in the middle of work or in the middle of being pretty much in a certain spot. Walter fancies a new employee named Cheryl and would love to date her, but he feels unworthy. However, he gets a chance to have a real adventure when Life magazine's new managers send him on a mission to obtain the perfect photo for the final print issue. They basically send him on a mission to get the last known photo that this awesome photographer has sent them, but it is missing. So in this movie, we see Walter, a man who has been doing this work for a really long time. But because of him focusing on just work, he is just all work, no play. Never took a vacay, never went out on dates, never done much outside of work. And on top of that, because of him doing that, he's developed a habit of daydreaming, of interesting and fantasy like scenarios to escape life. Now, there's nothing wrong with working a lot at your job, especially if you love your job, are passionate about your job, or find purpose in your job. Nothing wrong with that. But you're not here to just work and pay bills. You're here to experience things. You're here to experience life. You're here to go on adventures of some kind. And we need that. So, in this way, um, continuing on the synopsis, this changes for him in two ways. The first way is that he has to go on an adventure to find the missing photo of a legendary photographer that works with the company. And second, while all that is going on, he's having a new attraction to this woman. He's on this mission to find the last photograph of this legendary photographer. The company is letting go of a lot of people because they're shifting their magazine to more of an internet form, which basically putting all their info on the websites instead of putting it in magazines, which is cutting a lot of people, creating a lot of jobs. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? With these things and a romantic interest going on, this seems like some very life-changing events for Walter. And not only that, this all takes place within 2 to 3 weeks. So he's going on an adventure. He's figuring out a way how to talk to this girl. And he's about to experience job loss in about 2 to 3 weeks. So many things going on. Once again, very similar to life. I think, though, that our life needs to be shaken up sometimes because with it comes a learning experience of who we are and how to face life and enjoy it more. Spoiler alert, if you have not seen this movie, I would suggest you watch it, but I'm going to give you a minute to stop right here and maybe skip to a certain spot so I won't spoil things for you. But I'll wait. Okay, making sure. So, spoiler alert, because of Walter taking the adventure, taking the mission, he experienced things that were new, that were frightening, exciting, and life changing. He got on a helicopter for the first time in his life. He also jumped out of a helicopter into the sea for the first time in his life. He fought off a shark while swimming to a boat. He got back into skateboarding and rode down a hill at high speeds. And he even, thanks to a friend that was thanks to someone that was standing by, he even escaped a volcano. That's a bit of a story, but that's pretty much a synopsis. That is all. That's pretty much most of the things that he went through on his adventures to find this photographer. And the side effect of those things that he experienced and more stuff on his journey. Remember, this is only probably some of the interesting parts of the movie. There's still a lot more that I've left out that if you do want to see the movie, you need to see it because you may see some stuff that may wow you a little bit. But because of the side effects of those things that he got to experience and some more stuff that he got to experience on this journey, it made him more confident to ask out the girl. It made him stand up to his boss and be open to the possibilities of another job and enjoying life. And with everything going on, I think for some people, myself included, maybe a little bit of adventure might be needed to make sure to regain a certain perspective on things. So, I know usually I give tips, steps, points to encourage you to go on an adventure. But this time, the only tip I'm going to give you is to go on an adventure, to take an adventure, to even plan of an adventure later on in the future. To pretty much do something that's going to change you, that's going to seem a little bit frightening in the beginning. Because most adventures are a little bit frightening. Or, if you view it enough, it's excitement that's behind a different word. Think about that. But I encourage you to take an adventure, to plan one, to go experience life. Yes, I know COVID is still out. But one, if you're willing to try the vaccines, you can try the vaccines. But if not, with the necessary safety and precautions that everyone's been taking, that you should be taking, like walk around with a mask, have some hand sanitizer, don't get too close to certain people that you don't know, or that's been cool. But I think if you have you know, have enough safety and precautions, you can still go on adventures. And I want to pretty much leave with that because I know in what pretty much a lot of people are scared of this virus. It's a very tricky thing. But the fact of the matter is that life here is still life. And you can be huddled up. You can be huddled, yeah, you can be staying in your house. You can be fearing everyone and everything. But you also got to remember that this year has been a lot on people. I mean, we have, like I've mentioned in one of the videos before, mental health, mental illness, the focus on those two things have gone up. Suicide has possibly gone up because of the fact of how this has affected everyone. So I would say, even with all that going on, I would suggest you still go on into a venture, even if that venture needs to be a little bit more constructive, such as taking a course you've thought about taking before, or taking a course on something that you know that you didn't think you'd be too interested in. I mean, give it a shot. I mean, I'm about to give it a shot in some things too. Besides Christmas shopping, I am thinking about getting back into doing some wood etchings and glass etchings, and possibly adding another thing to my, I guess, creative creating repertoire. Since due to some things, I have a lot more free time than I originally thought I would. On top of that, I'm still keeping up with my workouts. I'm improving my workouts, and that is a challenge on itself. So try something new. Go on an adventure because life is meant to be lived. Yes, there are dangers, but let's be completely honest here. There's dangers everywhere. I mean, if you really want to think about it, the the fact that we are human, if you're listening to this, the fact that we are people, will listen to this, that we're pretty lucky that we didn't turn into anything else. I mean, I think the scientific numbers for someone to be human and have all have everything going on, have everything, have your body system going as smooth as it is. Even though, yeah, even though there's like a billions of people, it really is a billion and one chance to be human, you know? And this is like paraphrasing between the life science thing and Gary Vee, because I'm a fan of Gary Vee. Um, because you could have turned into an animal, you could have turned into a plant. You could have, you know, not even existed. There are a couple things that could have happened, but you live as a human being. And even before COVID happened, trust me, there are multiple ways we could have gone out. I mean, when you think about the statistics, it is one half, um, yeah, it's one half kind of an awe moment of like awe, like wow, and one half of like oh my god moment, to where you really think about how many ways a person could be taken out. I mean, I don't want to jinx it. I'm gonna knock on wood just to make sure. Um, but when you really think deep down into it, you can go into a forest in the woods and happen to be bitten by a poisonous snake or poisonous spider. You could drive, you know, into town, and then when you see a green light, there's someone else on the other side who doesn't see a green light. I mean, who doesn't see a green light but thinks it's a green light or is not paying attention, and you can be taken out in a car wreck. There are multiple ways that I could stack onto this to show how amazingly lucky humanity is. And technically, we are amazingly lucky. People die every day. It does. They do. We do. The possibility of how we can flourish and how we'll pass is almost an equal amount, almost an equal. Now, I know, especially with my head and probably a bunch of people who think like I do, is like, oh, the probabilities of this and this happening are this to this. True. The probabilities of you being taken out by a car wreck when you're not, taken out by a car, truck when you're not paying attention is very slim. But remember, it's not zero. Never zero. The possibility of getting struck by a random meteor, very slim because most likely we'll see it, but it's never zero. It's never zero. The thought of even being taken out by a accident that you have in the kitchen, or the combination of how your body reacts to a certain substance that causes you to go into a coma, a sickness, or whatnot. Slim chance, but never zero. Never zero. So first, I want you to be grateful for what we have, grateful for what you have, grateful for what you can experience, to hear, to see, to smell, to think, even, to feel, even. And then know that pretty much there's an adventure out there that you can take. Even if it's going to a different park, if it's road tripping with one person, or if you feel the need, if you feel comfortable to road trip it with a group of friends and go somewhere. Trust me, I think the adventure is needed because I think as humans we need it. We need adventure of some kind. We need a productive struggle. Not a struggle that, we get mad at all the time, but I think we as people need a productive struggle. A struggle that pretty much once we get past it, we can create something, we make something. We are improved. We are stronger than we were before. And I'm sorry for this rant, but y'all know how I talk. But this is how I think life is. Should life be chaotic, calamities going everywhere, and struggle until you cry every night? No, it should not be like that. But also remember that we also shouldn't be comfortable all the time. Remember the premise. Well, I like to think that comfort is for the old. And when I mean old, I mean when you have no ideas, you have no kids to take care of, no grandkids to take care of, you have nothing of that nature going on. Wholly believe that. Because if you're 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and you can still move, or if you're any of those ages and you still feel that you can do something more, your adventure's not over yet. Because the mission should be to get to that age to where you've been completely spent. You've done everything you've wanted to do, everything you thought about doing, even everything you slightly dreamed about doing, going for it. That you went for everything you could, every single thing you could, and you are content with where you're at now. Because I think that's the mission all of us strive for: is to is to do everything we can and to be content. No, not to pay bills. No, not to make billions or millions of dollars. And if you be real honest with yourself, you don't even need $1 million. It would be nice, but there's been a percentage in my head that if I made a month, I'd be comfortable with it because I'd have enough to go on vacay when I wanted to, or to save up for that vacay when I wanted to. I'd have enough to still enjoy life, movies and whatnot, and do everything. But I also have the discipline and enough money to where I can put some money away for, safekeeping, whether it be IRA, savings, a emergency fund, or any of those things. That's where I visualize life is. Because yes, it'd be nice to make $1 million a year. It'd be so awesome. But let's be honest, you don't even need that much. Be honest with yourself, with all the utilities, plus with all the stuff that you want to do, that you want to pursue. If you dumb that down a little bit, be a little patient, you can enjoy that life sooner than you think. Just kind of make some adjustments. But hope that helps. Sorry if I got into a little bit of a rant, but remember, take that adventure. The adventure will help you. The adventure will make you better. The adventure will make you stronger. The adventure will change your life. Even during these times, take an adventure. I hope this landed for somebody. As usual, if this did, please like the video. Please subscribe to the video. Or if you listen to podcasts, please follow me. Please subscribe. Please keep in touch with our podcast. The podcast is Fictional Character Motivation. For everyone from the video, it is FMC. Oh, wait, did I say that? FCM. FCM. Fictional Character Motivation. I may be changing that name soon, but the premise, the basis of what this series is still going to be the same. If this landed, like the video, share the video, comment on the video, and the same with the podcast. Like the podcast, share the podcast. I'm grateful for the few listeners that do listen to this. Appreciate y'all, and I keep doing this for y'all. Hope everyone has an awesome day, and deuces.